Switzerland coming into today, we've seen Fabio Christen doing an awful lot of work up front, but they also have Jan Christen, Mark Hershey. Never quite know what to think of Mark Hershey these days. He seems extremely variable, but then again as well, he's also highly capable when the mood suits him, and he can actually go very, very loud. Switzerland making sure that we are talking about them. These look like herons, taking flight. Sharp beaks, generally tend to spear fish, sort of spear fishes. Yeah, why not? Who's going to land the big one today? It's still too early to predict, quite frankly, Brian, because there's so many riders. I wouldn't be surprised if they did win. But do you think we'll get some that are really off our radar that might actually just take a step forward?
That's, I think we've been speculating. We've been talking about Carapaz, Bernal, others, you know, who would be the riders that would do that. You know, I think...
Healy, Quinn Simmons?
I think Quinn Simmons is going to wait. He's been looked after at the front of the peloton. This is, however, Mauro Schmidt. They have got a rider in front, but we saw how great yesterday the Swiss roads. Okay, they got fourth in the end, but I thought they were one of the team of the race yesterday. They were getting everything right, putting riders in all the right moves, but unfortunately came fourth. But there's a lot of riders that might decide to do something. It might be a case of, you know, Oscar Onley doing something on the climb and going, and for Tom Pidcock to kind of wait back. That would be maybe my tactic.
That's a very good shout, yeah.
Or is Oscar Onley and Pidcock going to kind of hold back to the final kind of couple of laps? It's indecision. I think, looking at yesterday's race, I think there'll be a few teams looking to try and do something on this climb and try and go over the top of the climb and go to the front of the race to put pressure on the others.
Check out what's happening behind this move here by Mauro Schmidt. There's a lot of teams suddenly mobbing the front, and Belgium have got some company. Norway starting to have a think about it. Denmark are looking numerous, I must say, and they've got a fighting force. Matthias Chelmors, we talked about his Ardennes Classic head and the way that might transfer to this. I kind of believe in him. The team quite clearly do, and they are moving him up. The Intare Conference Centre. Looks like something that's just landed from outer space. Not landing yet. Mauro Schmidt, not a blow anyway on the peloton, that is still being moderated, and it's split into two, like a large tuning fork at the moment, and at what key it's going to be set to, I do not know. And who's got the key to the door a little bit later on? Remco Evenepoel is, every time we look at him, looks very, very nervous. And look at Slovenia. They've burnt down 3 of their number, but they still have 6. Meanwhile, Estonia and Ryan Taramay, he was here on his own, and he's pulled the pin. Thanks to him. He's been a great rider for so many years. And this vast lake, look at that, it's a beautiful picture. Credit to the director of photography for that one, absolutely beautiful. Well, today, Beauty or the Beast? Well, somebody's going to be the big beast today. I'm not quite sure who it is going to be. Dan Rafferty just picking him out, just making his way up as well is Ben Healy. I believe Ryan Mullen was in the pit area. I'm still not sure whether Ryan Mullen is out yet. This is Morgado of Portugal. I love the way that they just dissembled the word Portugal on their back. It's great from a heli shot, to be fair, just in case you're wondering. And our breakaway is now just starting to fracture ever so slightly. A check over the shoulder here from Anders Fuldegger. I'm just wondering who, indeed, of the trio is going to bridge over. And the answer for the time being is none of these. Fabio Christen of Switzerland's just holding fire. Likewise is Marius Meyerhofer. The gap's down to 95 seconds, and to be honest, it looks like their day is done. They've been up here for a long, long time. And now as we leave town, we're heading out into the countryside, and the first test is going to be the Côte du Péage. I don't know whether that is actually going to be a toll booth. I guess we're going to wait and see. 2.2 kilometres and 5.8%, so not the most sterling climb, but possibly a little bit of a mirror of what we've already dealt with. We've got our circuit climb to go, and that's after this next climb. You'll recognise it. It's not the cobble climb, it's the other one. If you've got two major climbs within the circuit, and so we're going to enjoy that, and then we're leaving town, and we'll be gone for a good old reach. So we've still got another 30 odd kilometres before we actually get back to the cobbles that are part of our short lap. May well be that we find a little cobble section within Mont Kigali itself, and that is what is going to define us today. This is a floodplain that, there you go, overcast 27 Celsius. In fact, temperature has picked up, and so has the wind. This is beyond the 9 kilometres per hour predicted, and that suggests a breeze and possibly somebody kicking up a storm. Mauritius and Alexander Meyer.
Yeah, it's always an honor to represent my country, and I'm very happy, very proud to be here. First time in Africa for me, first time for the World Championship in Africa, so yeah, we are ready.
Could we expect seeing Victor Langelotti in a breakaway?
I don't think so, to be honest. I will try my best to just stay as long as possible with the top guys and see what's possible in the final laps.
And your prince is present here, so extra motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Extra motivation is always, super nice to have the support of the Prince Albert. So, yeah, I'm going to give my best to represent Monaco as best as possible.
Merci à toi.
Representing Monaco, and as you've heard, His Royal Highness Prince Albert is here, very much a cycling supporter. Loves his racing generally, actually. I guess you've got to. Because it'll be, of course, the Grand Prix brushing by his front door almost constantly. 40%. This is the Côte Kigali, so the rib of Kigali. We're leaving this. We also have the Mont Kigali and the Peak Kigali. How many more? There's the mountain, there's the peak, there's the rib of what? Kigali. That's where we're playing today. Well, 124 kilometres, kind of feels a bit doable now, doesn't it? We are, would you believe, finally beyond the halfway mark of today's race. A mighty distance that was, quite frankly, just a little bit frightening at the beginning of the day, but now seems kind of quantifiable. It's not that they've ridden easy, and our breakaway, which is starting to break down, this is... Benno Wissing, he looked like he was struggling a little bit last lap and has done so again on this climb. He's done an awful lot of climbing, and we remind you there's plenty, over 5,300 metres of it indeed. I've got to tell you, this is 5,393 altitude metres in total by the end of today. That's 1,100 more than last year in Zurich in 2024, 2,500 more than the World Championships in 2023, 1,200 more than in 2022, 3,100 more than in 2021. I'll stop this now. But just to say, the Qatari desert version of the World Championships, we have 5,000 more metres than we had in Qatar. All right, I know the desert's flat, but, you know, only 300 metres of altitude gain during that race. It was the wind that was the problem, and only on one corner. Oh, and the heat. Gosh, I remember that so well. Seeing riders just evacuating their tummies, that's the best way I could just polite company. Because of heat exhaustion, it was horrible to witness. In fact, dare I say it as well, there was a lot of dexterous camera work where we avoided seeing some of the worst impacts of the heat. It was too much for a lot of riders, and I don't think it's going to be any time soon that we go back to those kind of temperatures. We were nudging up sort of late 30s, hoving towards the 40s. It was too much. Thankfully, the weather here has been almost perfect. 27 Celsius, although heavy with humidity. And as you can see, the clouds are screaming and wrestling with themselves in an attempt to form a thunderstorm. We've escaped that fate so far, but it does feel like pretty stormy. And there is storms in the area, or the region, let's put it that way. Whether they'll grace us is anybody's guess. About a 40% chance before the end of today, so it's an increased risk. And as indeed we deal with this climb and the exit starts to beckon, and we'll say farewell to Kigali momentarily as we dip on a lick, if you like, into the countryside. All of a sudden, I guess the pace just to get into a decent place is starting to take a toll. Roy Townsend it is that drifts to the side of the road. Do you remember how hot it was in Qatar, Brian? It was not kind.
Yeah, I was there on site doing the commentary, and you know, looking